Shalom to like giving all praise and honor glory to Yahweh Shemal Shai, by Shema Kakadash, and giving double honor to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone. Well, peace and sanctity to the elect. Shemal Mothman, Mappa from the Great Millstone Plaintables camp located here in the city of Philadelphia. Come with another wee lesson. You have it here. A disaster for us. Philadelphia business owner fears fallout over proposed cuts. Now you have it here in Pennsylvania. The major public transit supplier is a company called SEPTA, which is Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Agency. Okay. And this company, a lot of people depend on, but over the years, especially I can speak, being resident here, a lot of people lost hope in it. But a lot of people move on, this particular mass transit. Now, let's just play this video. This is off of 6 ABC Philadelphia, which is a news outlet here in Philadelphia, local news. So let's play it.
The transit agency is trying to close.
Fair use warning. I don't own any of this footage. Just for educational purposes and journalism only. Okay, let's go.
The transit agency is trying to close a $213 million budget deficit, and the stakes for people across the state are high.
So again, let's get some of the terms. A budget deficit. Okay. So budget deficit is when the amount by which spending exceeds revenue over a particular period of time. So the amount of money and the revenue, okay, it's not there. Okay, especially with the amount of free rides that SEPTA provide for all of the residents, for the most part, people in general. Okay, on SEPTA, when you go to the fare box or the fare kiosk, when you originally go to, basically take a ride on a bus, most people evade that. Okay, and most of these different bus drivers are in fear of someone hurting them. Okay, you have even on SEPTA itself, it has a shortage of drivers. Okay, or operators for these different vehicles. So a lot of people have been losing the desire to really ride on it, especially too with the amount of drugs and homeless people on there, drug users and homeless people on there, or just degenerates on there. But we see Esau going down, man. So they're coming with more cuts, in this deficit. So you have it with SEPTA. They're trying to perform different strategies to make up for these deficit spending, right? But who's gonna really get SEPTA to be as prosperous as it was? Every year this company also, it seems like every year, but it seems often also that the agency has different strikes too.
Investigative reporter Chapter Daily details the proposed cuts.
So a 23 million budget deficit, and they gotta go, like, you have different governors for Pennsylvania and such. They have to go, your leaders, they have to go and seek federal spending or federal money granted to them to allow this infrastructure to continue go on with the the mass transit. Okay.
And how it could affect you, whether you SEPTA or not.
The proposed cuts are drastic. 50 bus routes eliminated. More than a dozen others would be shortened, and there would be a 20% reduction in services on weekdays and weekends for many other service routes. Hey, suburbanites, 5 regional rail lines and 1 metro line will also be eliminated, and service after 9 p.m. canceled.
Wow. You know, so imagine, you know, if you live outside of the city, because a lot of Pennsylvania residents live outside of the city of Philadelphia, and they use SEPTA to get into Philadelphia. Okay, a lot of people don't like living in Philadelphia because of the danger. Okay, and the quality of life is not very high. You know, you have it. You know, you can get robbed just walking around. You know, you have a lot of flash mob shootings, you know, drive-bys and theft. You know, a lot of people don't choose not to, you know, the school system is low. A lot of people choose not to live in Philadelphia because of the low quality of life, the urban blight itself. Okay, but you have it now like, hey, well, they're trying to cut your ways into the city, or in and out the city.
Frightened me when I first heard about the cuts.
The sign on Donna Alley's desk says, "Every day I'm hustling."
We've been in business for 40 plus years. However you work it.
She owns Team Clean in West Philadelphia, a commercial cleaning business.
Some of our clients include Ensemble Center, City Hall, the police stations, and just to name a few. Here's Ronald's email.
Her hustle has now turned to a scramble on how she'll get her 700 plus workers to and from work if SEPTA slashes services. The middle of the workday for her employees is when many people are calling it a night.
The cutting out the service after 9 o'clock is devastating.
Having approximately 40% reduction in service when you have a system that is serving over 750,000 people a day.
You heard it, over 750,000 people, almost approaching 1 million people per day on a SEPTA. Okay, and these people are, a lot of these people are laborers, you know, going to and fro, you know, to their jobs and from their jobs, and they depend on, you know, SEPTA, because if you were to pay Uber, you know, to pay for these trips, the laborers wouldn't have any money. We as laborers in general already barely have money to begin with, you know. I could speak of a person that used the SEPTA service myself. You know, you got even too that there's different you know, different government programs that have been created just to make it where certain workers don't have to pay for SEPTA rides, and they'll use that as a way to attract people to certain jobs. But even that want to get cut. Let's keep going.
That's a lot of impact for a lot of people. Be delayed.
Ariella Marin is the executive director of the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission. She says the proposed service cuts would add 275,000 vehicles to our region's roadways.
So is that going to be making everything greener? But then more people, then, since you're going to reduce the amount of and apparently bus routes out there, you know, different regional rails, these people are going to have to go to and fro on something, okay? And if it's cars and y'all moving towards a green city, and this being pushed to be the clean and green city, what really are we doing?
A day
Is the equivalent of taking everyone who lives in the city of Pittsburgh, including the kids, including the babies, putting them in their own vehicle and having them descend on the roads of Philadelphia.
That means longer commute times, especially along I-95 and the Schuylkill Expressway. Delays in the delivery of products, increase in pollution, and she says one can only imagine the issue of parking.
SEPTA is the lifeblood and the lifeline, not just of the city, but really of the Commonwealth. And
Shannon Williams is a senior vice president at the Chamber of Commerce of Greater Philadelphia. The cuts are the #1 issue for the chamber. Its largest members and sponsors are universities and hospitals here in the city.
it's not just the workforce for them, it's the patients and the families that seek treatment and that have appointments.
Some state lawmakers
Yeah, they use SEPTA to get to and fro to these things.
Workers in more rural areas worry about costs, the effectiveness of the agency, and whether taxpayers should be footing the bill for a service that they believe largely serves Philadelphia.
And we are going to be lobbying to make sure that these cuts don't happen.
Donna Alley is in the process of polling employees to learn how life-altering the proposed cuts would be. Most of her employees have limited means and income. She'll consider carpooling and providing transportation, but it's an additional cost she can't afford.
So I'm just...
Are you that dude that's taking a ride with Bill? Are you gonna pay Bill higher wages to make sure that Kelly gets to work, and Tommy and Brenda? So we see everything. It just continues to go down, man. Like, this place is just finished, man. So you know, me personally, I'm gonna just stay with a lot of these key precepts, because they're speaking very, very loud and clear. Okay, there's no healing, man. So, you know, we see it everywhere, man. This is Nahum chapter 3:19. There's no healing of thy bruise. What bruise are we talking about? We talking about the bruise of Babylon. Okay, that has the damage from, you know, the decay that has been done here. This place has all sorts of national defects that are just uncurable. There's no unrepaired. This is beyond repair, man. Okay. There is no healing of thy bruise. Thy wound is grievous. All that hear the bruit of the clap, the bruit of thee shall clap the hands over thee. For upon whom hath not thy wickedness passed continually? And Esau has gone throughout the various nations and has spoiled all the people. Okay, as it says, he has multiplied thy merchants above the stars of heaven. Okay, so he has everybody, you know, and he has spoiled everyone. But now nothing is really bouncing back, despite the fact he has different commissioners and different you know, board meetings, and where they go together and come collectively to try to come to a solution. There's no healing of Babylon. So it says here, this is Babylon, I mean, this is Jeremiah chapter 51 and 8. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and is destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed? You have to, give America some type of assistance, but there's no assistance for America. The bankers are not helping America. All right, it's a debt funnel. Okay, it says we would have healed Babylon, America, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Alright, we're in a time of great judgment for America, man. You know, where you see different transportation agencies do ghost routes, you know, where you'll be waiting outside for a particular bus, and in the bus you'll look on the real-time updates, and it seems as if that bus is out there, but it's not really out there, you know. So what's really going on? You know, they're lying and telling you they're providing something that's really there, and that's witchcraft. Okay, so never trust thine enemy. So, you know, hey, a lot of these different businesses are gonna fail in the midst. You know, not everybody have cars and can make up for her. This person has 700 workers to try to clean these different businesses or even government entities that she has contracts with. You know, she, no matter what, you know, she have made a deal, but she may have not factored this in of SEPTA funding being at a budget deficit, and they're cutting, leaving her without our laborers unable to perform the task because they can't get to the job. So, we're going to continue to see things just go down. The laborers continue to, grieve too, because their quality of life will be affected. But that's it, their spirit. Shalom to you.